What's going on, guys? It's your boy. So today I will be talking to you guys about who I think will be on the cover of Madden 18. So first things first, I'm going to go through some prospects. The first person I'd like to talk about is Ezekiel Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott was a rookie running back for one of the most successful teams of this year. In fact, the most successful team. When it's like not counting the playoffs, they're the most successful team, okay? But so Ezekiel Elliott, for one, he was a rookie last year. For two, he was fan favorite. Like so much people like Ezekiel Elliott. He's a running back, which means he's a star player. And I feel like enough people like him to the point where he'd be able to be on the cover, and it would make sense, and a lot of people would like that. Okay, next person I'd like to talk about is J.J. Watt. So a lot of you guys are probably thinking right now, J.J. Watt, are you serious? Dude, he didn't even play at all the entire season. But okay, hear me out. So J.J. Watt, you see, J.J. Watt was extremely close to being on the cover last year and 2 years ago, but he wasn't selected. I feel like this year would be an okay year for them to finally put him on it, except for since he didn't play this year because of his injury, he probably won't be on it, but I do feel like he has at least a somewhat chance of being on it. Alright, next person, Matt Ryan, the league MVP. He had an amazing season with probably one of the best endings possible for Patriots fans. He blew a 25-point lead. That man blew a 25-point lead. How do you do that? Like, the worst part is there was a point where they legit could have taken 2 knees and a field goal, and they could have won the game. But no. Oh, he failed so badly, dude. 25-point lead. How do you do that? That's just depressing. Okay. But besides that, he was the league MVP. He did have a pretty good season with, I'm pretty sure he had a lot of not running yards. Not receiving. He threw for a lot of yards. That's what I'm trying to say. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, he did. He had a phenomenal season. I'm just gonna end that there. Okay. Next person I'd like to mention, LaShawn McCoy. LaShawn McCoy, Shady McCoy, whatever you like to call him. He had a phenomenal year. In fact, I'm pretty sure when it comes to fantasy points, rather him or David Johnson had the most points. And I feel like it was really close because LaShawn McCoy was on my team. He did phenomenal. He did amazing for my team. So, he definitely deserves it. He had a great year, except for one thing that's different between him and a lot of the other people I mentioned today. A lot of the other people I mentioned seem to be like fan favorites. Like, a lot of people know who he is. For LaShawn McCoy, it's like, other than Bills fans, not much people know who he is. So, well, not like not know who he is, but like not know of how successful he's been and like praise him. So next person I'd like to mention is Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott was the quarterback of probably one of the most successful teams this year in the NFL. He was a rookie. He was drafted 135th overall, and I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he got the Rookie of the Year award last year, and that's pretty impressive. He did better than Jared Goff and Carson Wentz, the first 2 picks of the draft, who are both quarterbacks. He did better than. So, I mean, you gotta give him credit where credit's due to, or whatever. Not only that, he seems to be like a really humble kind of person. So, it's like, also fan favorite kind of thing. I feel like he has a great chance of being on the cover. Next person I would like to mention, Ryan Tannehill. So Ryan Tannehill isn't, he wasn't like the best, but he did have a pretty good season. he did bring a Dolphins team that was pretty mediocre and took them to the playoffs. So, I mean, he had to be somewhat good, right? Probably not good enough for the cover, but I did like to mention him. And yeah, next person, Patrick Peterson. Patrick Peterson has had another phenomenal year, like 4 or 5 years in a row. He's been top notch. I don't even know if he's been in the league for 5 years, but he has been really good for the last like at least 3. So he does deserve it almost as much as anybody else deserves it. And I feel like you give it to him, he actually deserves it. And he's really good. He's had another phenomenal season, like I've said. And it's been a long time since they've had a defensive person on it. In fact, I'm pretty sure the most recent defensive player that they've had on it was Ray Lewis, and that was in 2009, I think. Yeah, I think so. But next person. Oh. Yeah, just pretend like you didn't see that, okay? So, next person. Derek Carr. Derek Carr had a phenomenal year. He did really good, and once again, took his team to the playoffs. And like Ryan Tannehill, he also got injured and couldn't play in the playoffs. And his team kind of failed without him. But he had a phenomenal year. He did really good. He got the quarterback on Madden. He got the Team of the Year quarterback, which I honestly feel like he really deserved because he had a phenomenal year. I feel like he had a good enough year to make the cover easily, hands down. Next person I'd like to mention, none other than himself, Super Bowl MVP of Super Bowl 50, Mr. Von Miller. One thing I will say about Von Miller is, since things might have changed a little bit considering he was on mobile or whatever, so he might not make it because of being on mobile, but I see no reason why he shouldn't be on the cover, because he had another outstanding year. I'm pretty sure he got, I want to say, I don't know, but he got a lot of sacks and a lot of good plays, so another good year for Von Miller. Not to mention, he's probably the best person on that team now that, you know, they have a rookie quarterback and their offense is doing horrible. But, you know, next person, Julio Jones. The man himself managed to get, was it 300 or 400 receiving yards in one game? Incredible. This man did amazing. And that catch in the Super Bowl, where he got just barely got 2 feet down, that was impressive. That really was. That was so good. But, yeah. So, he had a really outstanding year. He's a kind of a fan favorite, actually. I'm sure if Julian Edelman didn't make the catch that he did, and the Patriots didn't win the Super Bowl, that catch that he made probably would have went down in history as one of the best catches in Super Bowl history. And now A.J. Green. A.J. Green is such a good player. I don't know if he actually gets quite the credit he deserves. I feel like he had just as good of a season as Odell, and not necessarily the level of Antonio Brown, but he was up there. He did pretty good. And I feel like he deserves some credit for it. I don't know necessarily being on the cover, but I do feel like he should get some recognition for the fact that he had a really good season. Next person I want to mention, Marcus Mariota. I know he most likely won't make it, but I think it would be cool to see him on it. So I just wanted to mention his name. I know this one's kind of like a joking thing, but wouldn't it be awesome if there is a punter on the Madden cover? Not to mention, Marquette King is insane. Next year, his punter card is probably going to have, a bunch of speed, bunch of good throw-out power. He's probably going to be, good enough where you could probably, transfer him to quarterback next year and him be, a 60 something overall, or like put him in halfback and him be like a 60 something overall. Next person I'd like to mention is Dez Bryant. He was the what is it called? Wide receiver of one of the best teams in the league. And I definitely feel like he should get the credit he deserves for being as good as he was. And I know I have a lot of Cowboys players on here. The Cowboys really deserve to have somebody on the cover because they had a good year this year. So I'm just gonna say this. Yeah, that's about it. The last thing I do want to talk about, I had a picture, I have no idea where it went, of Cameron Hayward. Was it Cameron Hayward? No, Cameron Wake. It was Cameron Wake of the Dolphins. And I have no idea where he is. But Cameron Wake of the Dolphins, I had a picture of him. I don't think necessarily him, but I do want to talk about if a defensive player like Von Miller was to make it on the cover, who the defensive player would probably be. So, for one, I would definitely want to mention immediately Cam Chancellor. Cam Chancellor didn't necessarily have a great year last year. Oh my god. I'm just now realizing this. Earlier I said that they haven't had a defensive person on the cover in a while. 2 years ago, 2015, they had Richard Sherman. Yeah, that's kind of bad. Oh, that was stupid. Okay. But if they were to have a defensive player, some of the defensive players I think they would have are Jadeveon Clowney, probably. Dontari Poe, which I feel like if they put him on the cover, that would be awesome. I'd like to mention Eric Berry, because Eric Berry did really good. Who's another person I'd like to mention? Who is his name? My mind is blanking right now, I'm sorry. Holy crap, I can't think about it. I have no idea who I was thinking about. I don't know. Oh, and one offensive person who I forgot to mention, not Stephon Diggs, but Mike Evans. That's who it was. Mike Evans deserves to be on the cover because Mike Evans had a terrific year and made probably one of the best catches of this year. So, yeah, that's it for this video. And yeah, peace out. See you in the next video.